You think you're a good cat owner, right? I mean, you buy the fancy toys, you get the best kibble, you give them a warm, safe place to sleep. But what if I told you that some of your most normal, everyday habits are, according to animal behaviorists, quietly hurting your cat?
And that's the really scary part. See, most of these things feel completely harmless to us. They're just part of our routine. But if you keep doing them, and let's be real, almost every single cat owner does, you could be chipping away at the very foundation of your relationship with them.
You could be slowly breaking your cat's trust, damaging their health, and even eroding their sense of safety in their own home. So today, we're going to uncover the 6 everyday things that hurt your cat way more than you think. And please, you're going to want to stay with me because the last one on this list is something most of us do specifically out of love, and it might just be doing the most damage of all.
All right, let's just dive right in with number 1. Screaming at them when they mess up. Come on, we've all been there. You walk into the living room, you see your favorite plant knocked over, dirt everywhere, and your first instinct is to yell their name. Leo, no! It feels like a natural reaction, like you're teaching them, but you're not.
Here's the total disconnect. Your intent is to correct bad behavior, but your cat's brain doesn't work that way. They don't have that cause and effect thinking. They're not thinking, oh, I shouldn't have touched that plant. Their reality is, this giant person I love and depend on for everything is suddenly loud, scary, and completely unpredictable.
And this isn't just a guess. A 2021 study in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that cats who were yelled at regularly had way higher levels of chronic stress. And that stress doesn't fix the behavior, it actually creates new, worse problems like hiding, aggression, or even avoiding the litter box. You're not teaching a lesson, you're just damaging your bond.
Okay, on to number 2. The unhunted hunter. You know, we look at our indoor cats sleeping all day and we think they're just lazy or, low maintenance, but the truth is they might be mentally starving to death.
See, every single cat is a hardwired predator. Their entire brain is built around this one specific sequence: stalk, chase, pounce, catch, kill, and eat. It's not a hobby for them, it's a biological need. And when that instinct never gets activated, something inside them just starts to break down.
And when that instinct goes unfulfilled, well, this is what happens. A study in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery found that cats without regular play had higher rates of obesity, aggression, and even what looks like depression in cats. So that cat who seems fine just snoozing on the rug all day, there's a decent chance they've just given up.
But here's the good news. The fix is unbelievably simple. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day of playing with a wand toy, something that moves like prey, can completely reboot their system. It'll transform their mood and your connection with them. You will literally see a side of your cat you never knew existed.
All right, number 3 is a huge one. And honestly, this one is a silent killer: feeding them only dry kibble. Now, what if I told you the food you pour in their bowl every day is slowly dehydrating them from the inside out? It sounds super dramatic, I know, but for cats, it's just a biological fact.
Here's why. Cats are descendants of desert animals. They evolved over thousands of years to get almost all their water from the prey they caught. This means their natural instinct to go find a water bowl and drink is incredibly low. They're just not programmed for it. So, when their entire diet is made up of dry, crunchy kibble, they end up living in a constant state of low-level dehydration. A study from the Journal of the American Veterinary Medical Association found that cats on dry food-only diets had a significantly lower total water intake even when they had fresh water available all the time.
And over years, that constant dehydration puts a massive strain on their kidneys. And here's the devastating result of that. Kidney disease is the #1 cause of death in older cats. Now, you don't have to throw out all the kibble, but just mixing in some wet food a few times a week can give their kidneys a real fighting chance.
Number 4, petting them in all the wrong spots. Most of us pet our cats like they're just small dogs, but that can actually cause overstimulation and break their trust faster than almost anything else.
So, has this ever happened to you? You're petting your cat, everything seems totally fine, it's a perfect moment, and then bam, they whip around and bite you. And you're left just thinking, what on earth did I do? The truth is, you probably hit a sensory overload button you didn't even know was there.
So a study from the University of Lincoln actually figured out the green zones for petting a cat. They showed the lowest stress responses when petted around their cheeks, the base of their ears, and under their chin. But when owners went for the belly or the base of the tail, their stress hormones shot up. That belly-up pose, it isn't an invitation. It's a sign of ultimate trust. And when you go in and rub it, you can accidentally betray that trust. Let's move on to number 5. The exposed bathroom. This is all about where you put the litter box, and from your cat's point of view, it's a matter of life and death. We humans, we tend to hide litter boxes in some cramped closet or a dark corner of the basement because, we don't want to see or smell them. But to your cat, you've just put their bathroom in the scariest place in the house. See, they're both predator and prey, and when they're in that box, they're at their most vulnerable. So a box that's shoved in a corner with only one way out goes against every single survival instinct they have. It feels like a trap.
So the fix here is pretty simple. It's a two-parter. First, put the box in a low-traffic area where they can still see what's going on around them. And second, follow the N+1 rule that behaviorists recommend. One box for every cat you have plus one extra. This cuts down on stress and gives them safe options.
And finally, number 6. This is the big one. This is the one I warned you about. The thing most of us do purely out of love that might be causing the most harm. It's believing in the myth of feline independence.
There's this idea out there that cats are these self-sufficient loners who don't really care if you're gone. But that's not just an opinion, it's scientifically wrong. A 2020 study in Current Biology found that cats form real, secure attachment bonds with their owners, very similar to the bonds that dogs and even human babies form with their caregivers.
So when you're gone for 10 or 12 hours a day and you come home to a cat that seems fine, they might not be. Cats that deal with prolonged isolation can develop real anxiety and depression. The heartbreaking thing is, they just suffer in silence. They don't tear up your shoes, they just withdraw, and we mistake that quiet withdrawal for independence.
The truth is, your cat waits for you. They notice when you're gone, and they feel it way more than they'll ever be able to show you. You don't have to be home 24/7, but they do need to know you're coming back. Because to your cat, you're not just their owner, you're their entire world. And isn't that a world worth protecting?